former, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the latest person to speak on President Trump's comments about the anthem. Kareem said, quote, "I think what has happened here is that people don't like the message, so they're trying to find faults with the messenger." And 49ers safety Eric Reid, who kneeled with Colin Kaepernick last season, said he talked to Cap this week, and Colin expressed frustration about the original message of racial inequality getting lost. Let's take a listen.
He thinks that it was a direct response to obviously what the president said. He wishes that this many people were involved last year. I don't think the narrative would have went in as many directions as it went if we had more solidarity. We could have focused in on these issues, but we got to be pragmatic about it. We have this opportunity now, and it's important that we discuss the issues and make changes.
Shannon, what are your thoughts?
They're absolutely right. And this is what I was afraid of. And this is why I tried to remove myself and didn't want a situation where Shannon Sharp and Ray Lewis, friends going at each other. That's not the issue. The issue is not about what I said or what he said. It's about what led Colin Kaepernick to originally take a knee. Skip, Kareem must be watching this show. Because I also said, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, if you like the messenger, you're more apt to receive the message.
Yep.
But if you don't like the messenger, no matter how good or great the message is, you're likely to tune him out.
Well, even if you like or don't like, you can, so to speak, kill the messenger. Yes.
Exactly. Or if you don't like the message, you'll try to discredit the messenger.
Correct.
And that's what we saw with Dr. King and the civil rights going on.
That is correct.
Somehow, it's still about the anthem. It's still about the flag. It's still about the country and the military. And what Cap really, now we're talking about solidarity and love and unity, and we linking arms. Skip, it's easy to have a stance about the anthem. It's so much harder to talk about the issue that which led Colin Kaepernick to do what he did. I wish the outrage that people are showing for the anthem and the flag, they'd have shown that when Tamir Rice, and Freddie Gray, Eric Gardner, and Philando Castile, Alton Sterling. I wish we could have saw this type of vitriol from the other side. But nope. Now we've got this kneeling anthem protest, and he's trying to draw attention to the social and the racial injustices in America. And now we taking a knee. We linked up against President Trump because he's attacking us. Look, yeah, he's attacking. And yeah, some of his rhetoric, most of his rhetoric, is unbecoming of someone that's occupying that office.
Yep.
But the issue still are the social and racial injustices that minorities face in this country. That's what the issue is. Somehow we're still talking about, during the anthem, we're joining arms and we go inside swaying and we're having a kumbaya moment. And the kumbaya moment is very, very good. But once we're done singing kumbaya, can we start talking about these issues which led Colin Kaepernick to take the knee for in the beginning? Can we start talking about that? Because we've gotten so far from the original narrative of why he did it and what he did that I don't half the time I'm like, we still talking about President Trump is still talking about the protest, but he has yet to mention what led to the protest. We hear people talking about the anthem. Okay, but what led to the protest of the anthem? He's not protesting the anthem. He knew, Skip, that they would ask him, why are you sitting down during the national anthem when everybody else is standing? He knew they would ask him. When they ask him, he says the social injustice and the racial injustice that I see in America is acceptable. It's not about the next words out of his mouth. This is not about the flag, not about the anthem, not about the military. It's about the police brutality, the killing of unarmed black men and women and people of color at the hands of the police, unarmed. Again, I said unarmed, and there's no accountability. That's what I don't understand. And it's plain as day. Let me ask you a question, Skip. Black man run from the cops like Baker Mayfield. What happens? This was pitch black.
It almost happened to Baker Mayfield, but go ahead.
He got tackled.
Up against a wall, he got tackled. He got roughed up, man.
Walter Scott said, I wish they'd have tackled me in a grass field.
Yep.
Walter Scott jumps out and runs at 9:30 in the morning. He gets 5 shots in the back, and they hang the jury. This is what Colin Kaepernick is talking about. This is what the protest is all about. It's not about no flag. And, Skip, I don't know how many times I can say this. The flag is supposed to be a representation of the freedoms and the liberty, what this country represents, that everybody should be treated equal. And if you're a white man, you get no more benefit than if you're a black man or a woman or transgender. That's what the flag, that's what the flag is about. Liberty and opportunity and freedoms. If everybody doesn't enjoy the same opportunities, well, how can you say this is great? And that's it. The right to, I just don't understand why when we start to talk about race, everybody becomes so dismissive of it. And I don't want to talk about race. And if I tell you you're showing a blind eye to racism, you tell me I'm a race baiter. How and somehow I get viewed worse as trying to bring light and shed light on a subject than the person that actually turns the light off in doing this. How did that happen? How somehow Colin Kaepernick get demonized, ostracized, and looked down upon more than the people that's committing the acts? I just don't know how that works.
Okay, so back to what Reid said, back to what Kareem said. Here's my personal problem with this whole theme of we've lost the message.
Yeah.
I haven't lost it. You certainly haven't lost it. We've been doing this show now for a year and almost another month.
Yep.
Started September 6th of a year ago. And just about every day for the duration and history of Undisputed, you have brought up that message.
Yes.
And I'm proud of that, but I'll go a step further. I started a good 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure I'm accurate about this. You can look it up. Talking about how outraged I was and how outraged black and white people should be over the white cops who have shot unarmed black men. And it was happening over and over and over again. And so in my little tiny way, I was trying to further the message, promote the message to as many people who would open their ears, eyes, and hearts, talking about white people, and at least absorb it and understand it. And I'm not sure exactly what they could do about it, but it just creates conversation, it creates awareness, and I'm going to go to my grave saying Colin Kaepernick had national impact on just creating awareness. So now, when you say don't focus on the flag, but just remember that that's not exactly right, because Colin was saying from the start, I cannot honor that flag that represents a country that will not treat me equally.
Exactly.
So it is about the flag in a way. And I get it. And I'm good with, I told you I cringe because I love my country, but we all love, you got on red, white, and blue, you love your country.
Yes.
And yet, this has gone so far that it took something that extreme to create awareness.
Right.
It created awareness. So now, everybody is, to quote your brother Ray Lewis, he saw such confusion in the eyes of the Ravens just before kickoff, and he was obviously lost in the confusion.
Right.
So he said he finally decided to kneel in prayer and ask God to help us in this state of chaos. Okay, but my point is, everybody's confused now because the president suddenly attacked the league. So now the white players are confused because they're with their black brothers, so they don't know any more to do but lock arms during the anthem.
Lock arms and block him out. Again, because remember, Ray said they were confused. What's the confusion about? Colin Kaepernick took a knee for racial and social injustices.
But they're not sure. Then what do we do now? So what's the next step? What would Shannon do? Should everybody kneel? Should nobody? Should we stay in the locker room? That's the confusion. And we saw the Steelers. I believe the Steelers were so confused at kickoff, they lost focus on the primary initiative of the moment, which was to actually play a football game. And they got beaten by the Chicago Bears. The Ravens proceeded in London to get annihilated by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And now I'm reading this week, I think the Packers have been a little confused. They've had to spend a lot of time and effort on this, right?
Right.
And the Carolina Panthers seem completely chaotically split over the owner says this, but we think this, and it's hard, man.
Because here's where the confusion, and this is where
Yeah.
reading what I said, the message has been lost. The white players are saying we should join our brothers because President Trump called them that protesting an SOB. Okay, they're joining to show solidarity with their brothers.
But I think they were well aware of what Colin's message was from the beginning.
Skip, everybody is well aware.
Okay.
But if we keep talking about other things, the message over time starts to dissipate.
Yeah.
Skip, I love quotes. You know I love them, and I got a bunch of them. But Dr. King said, somewhere I read, the greatness of America is the right to protest for right.
It is.
The greatness of America.
It is. That's a fact. Mm-hmm.
So you think about that. The very country that we live in that is so great was founded on what, Skip? Protest.
It was founded on religious freedom to worship whatever way you wanted to worship.
So they didn't protest. So they didn't go to war
they
against
did,
Britain.
but
so why did they jump that?
No, I'm just saying, but it was for religious freedom to start with.
Yeah, but they protested.
Yes.
The issue is about the protest. They dumped that tea in the harbor for something.
Taxation without representation. That's the Boston Tea Party. Okay, so that's the next.
So that's a protest.
Yeah, yes.
So the very country that was founded on protest, religious, and taxation without representation, and the ability to be free and do everything they want was founded on protest. But when citizens of the country that don't feel that they're being treated fairly or equally or being heard protest, that's a problem.
Okay. Well, again, but back on message, I just don't think the message has been lost. I think Aaron Rodgers is saying we need to keep this conversation alive. It's uncomfortable. Well, the conversation is about white cops, unarmed black men, right?
Yeah, but that's not why everybody took a knee. Everybody took a knee on Sunday. Why? Did everybody take a knee for Colin Kaepernick's message, or did everybody take a knee and link arms because of what President Trump said?
Well, they're sort of intertwined. They're saying we're still standing by Colin Kaepernick's message. That's how I interpret it.
Well, you took a huge leap because I didn't take it like that. Let me ask you a question. If President Trump had not said what he said, would around the league, would we have seen what we saw? So therefore, the message is being somewhat suppressed because they're taking the knee and linking with their brothers because of what President Trump said, not Colin Kaepernick's original message on why he took the knee.
Okay, but I think Colin Kaepernick succeeded, and then others weren't ready to carry on the torch. And so that's why Kenny Stills said, what, a week ago?
Yes.
Brothers, where are you? Is it gone? Is it died out? Or are we going to just let it? Are we just going to do football now? That's what he was saying.
Well, if you don't talk about it, and that's the thing, people think if you don't talk about it, it'll go away, and that's the way some see race. If we don't talk about it, it'll just go away and everything will be better. No, it's not going away, and we're not going to stop talking about it. So eventually, you'll come to the table and help us come to the best way to resolve. Don't say, well, what do you want me to do?
Well, we've said it several times, history repeats itself. So for everyone who wants to sit on the sidelines or put their head in the sand, that's where he'll stay. And history is going to look back on this particular time in society, and you will have been on one side or the other, and it's up to you to choose which side you want to be on, because there are sides now.
Yes.
Will we see a new Odell on the field this weekend? We'll discuss that with Eric Dickerson next.